Living with muscular dystrophy. My name is Grant Matheson, and I decided to interview a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, who will go unnamed. He actually wanted to not be named in this, but he was raised in Holland. I'm going to call him Jay for all intents and purposes. He was raised in Holiday, Utah. He has what's called Duchenne. I think that's how you say that. Duchenne muscular dystrophy, also known as DMD. One thing he super loves is Marvel Comics, the OG stuff, all the original comic books. He's got a pretty awesome comic collection. He's way into particularly Thor. I think he likes a lot. He went to Olympus High School. He graduated just a few years ago. And he currently works at Deseret Industries. Let's go to a day in the life of Jay. So in the morning, generally speaking, his parents help him get up and into his wheelchair. And I'll show you a picture of what that sort of looks like in just a minute. So that he's mobile right off the bat. He likes to move around a lot. He eats breakfast just like any normal person would do. He really likes waffles and bacon, of course, because who doesn't? Then, he'll brush his teeth and get ready, and his parents obviously will help him do a lot of that. But some stuff he can do on his own. He still has pretty good use, though limited, of his hands. And then his parents take him. They have a big old van that's been retrofitted to fit his wheelchair in the back. It opens up and has a little ramp in the back, and they wheel him in and they strap his wheelchair down so he doesn't slide around while they drive, and they take him to work at the DI. And he works part-time there, and he works about 4 to 6 hours a day, depending on the day. And then his parents pick him up, and he'll watch movies, or he likes to spend a lot of time on the computer as well when he gets home. And he does a lot of that kind of just normal stuff for the most part. Some of his challenges, getting from point A to point B. Traveling can be tough for obvious reasons, since he's pretty much bound to a wheelchair 90% of the time, or 95% of the time rather. And he, if there's a place that doesn't have good wheelchair accessibility, which for the most part, especially where he lives in Holiday, Sugar House area, is fine, but it still can present a challenge. His hands have limited flexibility and use because muscular dystrophy attacks the muscles, obviously. And so it's hard for him to grip stuff. So at work and when he's doing other things, sometimes he has to ask his coworkers for help. He also has to go to consistent physical therapy to help, stretch his muscles out and stuff like that. And he's doing that several times a week. And in the past, he's had a lot of surgeries as well. This prevents problems in the future, like with his spine being too curved, or with some of his organs also being affected by the muscular dystrophy. So he's had to have a lot of surgeries, and probably, unfortunately, will have to have more in the future. Some assistive technology that he uses is a wheelchair like this one. He has a super cool cell phone mount, which is not depicted here, but he uses a lot of voice commands with it, and he also has a computer that he uses voice commands with. He's really proud of his computer. He decided all the parameters and sort of quote-unquote built it by hand. Has a lot of RAM and a lot of that kind of stuff. He's really excited about that because it's fast. And he says most of his assistive technology works pretty well, but he does have some problems with Siri. So, I told him to join the club because who doesn't? So as far as an assistive technology that might help him, these bionic legs are called HAL. And they help people like Jay to walk. This kind of a therapy or assistive technology is pretty expensive. I couldn't find a specific price online. I think it varies depending on the person or your insurance, or I'm not sure. But he would love to walk around a little bit more, or at all, and this kind of technology could possibly help him do that. And they actually exist. You can actually get full exoskeletons developed by Mitsubishi. This particular brand, I forget what it's called, but the product itself is called HAL. So that assistive technology would be super awesome for him because he could actually walk and move around and really combat that muscular dystrophy. And that is the end.